Hi guys, welcome to Create with Christina. Today I'm going to talk about embellishments. I'm going to create it in Procreate. I'm going to do different embellishments, create it in Procreate. Then I'm going to bring it into the line journal that I had created a couple weeks ago. And then I'm going to put it in KDP and have it all put together. So join me. Here we have our line journal that I created in Affinity Publisher, and that's in a previous video. What I'm going to do now is I want to create embellishments on this page so that we'll create like a template, and then we'll have it on each page of our, and maybe we'll do a couple different pages, but we'll have that on our line journals, and it would just give it that little edge to the journals. And what I'd like to do is create different embellishments that people can color them in. So I brought this up just as a template. Now I'm going to save this. So we're going to click on this box over here to save it. I'm actually in my email. I brought it up. I emailed it to myself. And I'm going to go into Save to Files. I'm going to find my Procreate file. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to click Save. I already did save it already, so it asked me to replace. It won't do that since you're doing this the first time. I'm going to click Done. I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to go into Procreate now. So click on Procreate. Okay. Now, this is my dashboard in Procreate. I'm going to click on Import. Right here it is. I'm just going to press on that. It's going to bring it up for me. Okay. So now here is my line journal that we created, and I'm just going to add these different embellishments to it. Okay, now let's go into the layers tab here. This is layer 1 that it's showing. I'm just going to rename that, and I'm just going to rename it just lined, or just name it lines, just so we know that that is the layer tab for lines. But now I don't want to touch this at all. I want to go over top of it. So I'm going to click the plus to create a new layer. Here's my new layer. And I'm just going to rename this, and I will rename it Embellishments. Okay. I'm going to create some embellishments on here. I see there's some space around here. I'll do a little bit around here and over on this side too. Oops. So we'll just do this just so people have a little extra on this journal. It's not just a line journal, but they can color and do different things with this as well. I'm going to use my brush tool now as we want to create our embellishments. And what I'm thinking with my embellishments here is I kind of want to create something like kind of around here, around the edges right here, and possibly over here too. I like to use a studio pen, so I'll go into my brushes. And into my brushes, now I have purchased some brushes here, and then there's some brushes that already come with Procreate. Procreate has a ton of brushes that they actually come with already installed. I'm going to click on my inking tab here, and Studio Pen is the brush that I like to use, so Studio Pen. So I just click on that. Now I want to get my colors. I don't want my color to be like a harsh black. I want it to be like a little subtle. What I did is I like this gray color, and then I have a white. So I'm just going to click on the gray. Make sure my studio brush is clicked on there. And then the sizing, I'm not too sure on the sizing right now, but I'm just going to start with like this size right here. And just start like in this corner. I'm just going to do like just leaves or something like that is what I was kind of thinking of. So what I like to do is kind of like a curved line. So I'm just going to start up here. I'm just going to do a curve here. Okay. And what's really cool about Procreate is when you do a line, so say I'm going to do a curve like that. I'll do this curve. Now do you see how it's not like perfect? If I press and hold on that, it makes it a nice line right there. Now I'll just do a typical line like this, just like here. Do you see how it's kind of wavy? If I press and hold, it's going to make it a straight line for me, and I can move it, and I can bring it down, or I can bring it up. I can bring it as long as I want. Now, as you can see, we have these lines that are here. I need to fill this in a solid color so that we won't have those lines showing, because My purpose of this is I want somebody to be able to color this just around here. You know, if they're typing out, or not typing, if they're writing out their notes, you know, in their journal, and then they just think, oh, I'd like to color. So then I have this little area down here that they can color. I'm actually gonna undo this because, well, actually I'll show you this first. You see how I made this line? I'm gonna fill this in. I'm gonna go over here to my color, and I'm gonna go to the white. And you just go over the white and you drag it over. Oh, my lines disappeared. You know what happened there? This is what happened. I'm gonna undo. Okay. These lines right here are not touching. You have to have lines that are totally touching for you to be able to fill it in. So watch now. I will fill this in. That they will touch right there. And they're touching down there. I'm going to go back to that white. Drag it over. And now it works because they're touching now. Okay, so you have to make sure your lines are touching. I want to totally get rid of this because I feel like it's too big. 2 finger tap to undo. Okay, I'm going to try this again. Make sure I'm on my gray and I'm in my studio pen and my sizing there. Okay, so I'm actually just going to bring a line up here. Just going to do one line like that. Okay, and then now I'm just going to do a little like this. Make sure they're touching there. I feel like that line is too long. It looks like a balloon. So let's do this. It's my selection tool. Actually, my selection tool. And I'm just going to do this area right here. Okay, now my move tool. And I'm just going to bring that in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just going to move that right over there. That meets that one. And click off of there. Now, it looks like they're not quite touching. So let's go back to my pen tool here. And let's get these things touching right here. And we'll bring that down so that we're touching. And we'll just fill that in a little bit there. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and fill this in so that these lines aren't here. I'm going to go back to my white. And I'm just going to drag that across. And right there, now they're filled in. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my gray color back. Okay. Just going to fill this in a little bit. Let's just go like this. Fill that in and bring these, give these leaves some character here. Okay. Don't like how that's going right there. Let's give these some character. Okay. Sometimes you can just hand draw. You don't have to hold and press. If they look good to you, then just keep it. Like there, I don't like that because that was just a straight line. So I'm going to undo. So there's one part of our design. Okay, let's do another one just like that. Just have it right down here. And this will make it a little bit littler. I seem to want to make my stems bigger than they should be. Okay, let's make another one. Okay, as you can see again, they're not touching, but this is okay in this case because we don't have the lines here that we have to worry about. Just going to manually do these. I'm not going to press and hold with these because I think they're fine the way that they are. Just give them a little bit there. Okay, so now I'm going to do is I'm just going to do like a line down here. And then we're going to make just like little once you get the hang of making these, they're really fun to do. I love working with Procreate, and I love being able to draw these little things. I'm not the best drawer, I will admit that, but I can do like these little things, these little embellishments, and I can just kind of create like that. So, okay. And what is cool, because then somebody, when they want it and they're in their journal and they're just, you know, just feel like doodling or whatever, they can just color these in just like that. Okay. So you just make these. I'll just do maybe a couple little more here. Let's do one that goes around like this. Let's just do little circles. Really, you can really do anything you want. It's all up to you. And the cool thing is people buy your creations. Okay, just like that. Let me just do maybe one more leaf right in this area. Just do it up this way. Make it a little smaller. Let's do this. Now this one, since that line's right there, I'm going to have to make sure these are touching. Okay, so let's just put this in white. There you go. Bring it back to the gray. Let's just do this. Okay. Okay. So let's just say that you want to do these embellishments and have them over here and just have, you know, the same thing. You could either manually draw them, just like I did, and you could just add more to it or whatever you wanted to do. Or you can just go over here to your Layers tab, where it is Embellishments, and just swipe over here and hit Duplicate. Okay, so now you have 2 layers there. And then you want to go over here to hit your Move tool. Just click on Move. And now let's just move this over here. Now what we want to do though is we want to flip it then the other way. So what we'll do is we'll click on Flip Horizontal. And there you go, right there it is. Now if I say I wanted to, whoops. Okay, let's say I wanted to move that a little bit or make it bigger. You just click on the Move tool, and then make sure uniform is checked there, and then you can just drag it and make it bigger. You know, I could do it like that and have it bigger. However you want to do it, it's in your imagination. Whatever you want to do is however you want to create it. I'm just going to do it about the same and just have it like right there. Okay, so I see this is down a little bit further. So I'll click on that again, and then I can move it down. Might be over here as well. Okay. So there we go. There is how you add those extra embellishments to your lined journal, just to give it a little bit of a distinction, a little bit of a difference. Not that it's just a lined journal. Like I said, you can create anything you want with these. It is super cool. Now let's go ahead and we will put these in our Affinity Publisher so that we can have these on every single page. What we'll do first is we need to export this. So let's go over to our Layers tab. We need to turn off our lines because we don't want that on there. And actually I want to take out our background color too, because we need it to be a PNG. Okay, I'm going to go over to my tools, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on Share, which it already is on, and we're going to do a PNG. Click on PNG and exporting, and I can do AirDrop because my computer is on and I can just hit AirDrop. Another way you can do it is you hit Save Image and then you email it to yourself. However, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You could save it to your Dropbox. Google Drive or whatever option you have, but I'm just going to airdrop it to myself. I brought up Affinity Publisher, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my Master A files here. As you can see, all my pages actually are Master A files. So I just have one file here. So I'm going to go into this, the Master A. And now I actually did download my embellishments template. So now I'm just going to go into File and Place. And now I have to bring up my embellishments template here. I'm going to go into Downloads is where it was. So here, Line Journal, and it's the PNG. I'm going to go ahead and click Open. Now what I need to do is I need to drag this the whole way across where it should go. Okay, so right there, that's where it should go. I'm going to click off and I'm going to do that Control W so that you don't see these lines around here and then the gray boxes. So Control W, and right there, that's what it looks like. Okay, so let's just bring it up just a tad. Okay, so there's my line journal. Now let's look in the other pages here. We'll just scroll down here to page 26 and 27. Double click. Right there. It's still on there. It's the whole way through, which is pretty cool. The whole way to the last page. So there you go. That's how you create it. Now let's go ahead and put it in KDP. Okay, so right there they are, and they're on every single page, just like that. So that's how you create your embellishments for KDP.